Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's Quaffs and Queerfizz Star Party. My name is Tanmoy Laskar, Assistant Professor of Physics and Astronomy here at the University of Utah. For those of you who are joining one of our events for the first time today, a bit about these groups. Quaffs, or the Queer Alliance for Faculty and Staff, is an affinity group under the Office for Faculty at the University of Utah. Quaffs is led by Professor Lisa Aspinwall from the Department of Psychology and is open to all faculty and staff at the University of Utah. For more information about this group and our events, you're welcome to sign up for the Quaffs mailing list by emailing Lisa or follow the Quaffs Instagram page at Utah Quaffs. Queerfizz is a nickname for a group of people who are invested in helping build, strengthen and support the LGBTQ+ community in the Department of Physics and Astronomy here at the U. This grassroots effort is in part facilitated by the department's LGBTQ+ Affairs Committee, co-chaired by Professor Yao Yuan Mao and myself. We are delighted to welcome you to our first joint event with Quaffs today. In the next 12 minutes, we will go on a tour of the night sky as visible from our location tonight. We will learn more about the astronomical objects that we might see with our unaided eye and through telescopes. This Halloween-themed show was developed specially for tonight's event. This is a planetarium show, and there will be occasional motions like panning and zooming and rotating on the screen. I have tried to minimize and make these transitions smooth, but if you tend to get motion sick, please feel free to close your eyes and just listen. The fall sun sets on All Hallows Eve. The shadows lengthen. You step out onto the field, footsteps crunching beneath your feet. You take a breath. The air is fresh. Scents of wood from the trees around you fill your senses, dark and rich. You're not far from people, but the lights are hidden from you. It has been a long day, but it is peaceful out here. Only the wind in the trees, the occasional startled chirps of woodland creatures preparing for winter, and the distant V-shaped flocks of fowl on the horizon to keep you company. The sky cools around you from golden to violet to dusky blue. You've always loved this moment, when the sounds of the busy world are hushed, when evening shimmers like a veil. Today, the dusk feels electric, charged, like something awaits behind. The forest around you quietens as if it were holding its breath, like it anticipates what is to come. One by one, the stars appear. You shake off the feeling. You have been here before. You look around to secure your bearings. Out on the western horizon, you spot a familiar friend. The brightest spot of light you see is not a star at all. It is the planet Venus. You can't wait to pull out your telescope later and see if you can discern its diminished orb. Not quite a sphere, but far yet from a crescent. Overhead, the three bright stars form the summer triangle, hurrying away with the dusk to make way for the winter stars, Deneb, Altair, and Vega, which you remember as the brightest of the three, and the star astronomers used for centuries as a brightness standard before they realized it was actually variable. You turn to your right. After all, astronomers spin clockwise in the northern hemisphere, unlike hurricanes. Far in the north, the Big Dipper lies low on the horizon, its pointers, Merak and Dubhe, twinkling away as their light is battered by atmospheric currents, valiantly pointing the way to the North Star Polaris. To the right of Polaris is the familiar W of Cassiopeia. At this time of year, it is easier to find Polaris from Cassiopeia. You take the wider of the legs of the W, bisect the angle, and are led back to the pole star. You turn further, and in the southeast you spot another star that doesn't twinkle. This one is the planet Saturn. Its rings appear to tilt in different directions as seen from Earth. This year they are nearly edge on. You can see why Galileo, seeing these for the first time in 1610 through the newly invented telescope, had exclaimed, "Saturn has ears." You recognize its largest and brightest moon, Titan, from its reddish-orange hue. You recall that your view through the telescope is inverted, so what you see through your instrument is upside down relative to how Saturn and his moons are arranged on the sky. The darkness wafts from the woods. It gathers, pooling around your feet. The sky dims, but the stars shine brighter. In the east, right above Saturn, you find the winged horse Pegasus flying upside down, his nose in the air. Enif, from the Arabic for nose. In the west, you spot the comforting keystone of Hercules, a warm fuzzy chest in which to whisper your troubles. Set in the middle of the summer triangle, across from Deneb in the northern cross, Ilberio winks at you. Through the telescope, the eye of the swan is a beautiful double star, orange and blue-white, like two sparks from flickering candlelight. Likely a chance superposition along our line of sight. Different colors because the two stars have different surface temperatures. Ilberio glints. The wind whips around you. The light of the swan's eye ignites your flight of fantasy. The gifted musician and bard Orpheus is to wed his love, the wood nymph Eurydice. On their wedding day, Eurydice is killed by a venomous snake. Orpheus enters the underworld in search of his bride, finding the gates of hell blocked by the terrifying three-headed watchdog, Cerberus. Orpheus calls on his power, his music. He plays his harp and charms Cerberus, and Hades, the god of the underworld, who lets him lead his bride back to the land of the living, provided he does not look back at her until they have both escaped. He fails. She is lost. The gods turn him into Cygnus, the swan's last song, captured in the stars. Orpheus's harp becomes Lyra. Here we'll find gems like the double star Epsilon Lyrae. Through your telescope, both stars resolve into orbiting pairs. At the foot of the lyre, you will find the Ring Nebula, a beautiful smoke ring blown by a dying sun-like star basking in its own sunset. At the center of the shell of gas glows the white dwarf core, almost entirely carbon, the mass of the sun in the size of the earth, blazing away its last days. Nearby, in the constellation of Hercules, the stars are gathering like lost souls. Globular clusters like these are some of the oldest objects in the universe. So old, in fact, that astronomers have used them to estimate the age of the universe. These clusters may be remnants of long-dead galaxies that fell into our Milky Way and were stripped of their structure, leaving behind only the densest cores. Relicts of a past no human ever witnessed. But there are old dead things in the sky that our human ancestors did see die. 10,000 years ago, a star ran out of fuel and collapsed, expelling gas in a supernova. They would have seen a new light, a guest star in Cygnus. You can see the remnants from that colossal explosion as waif-like wisps, the Veil Nebula. At the eastern edge, you spy the Witch's Broom, careening off with its rider into the space between the stars. The hour grows late. The nebula looks empty. The veil grows thin. If only you had X-ray vision, you would know that this vacuum is instead teeming with X-ray radiation from shocked gas. The sky grows darker. Leaves rustle. A breath grazes your neck. The wind whispers to you. Rachel al-Musalsala. Rachel al-Musalsala. Who's there? You hear the creak of chains. You spin around. There's no one. That name rings a bell. You turn to Almach, another beautiful double star. Why is it creaking? And then you remember Rijal al-Musalsala, the foot of the chained woman, Andromeda. You remember her story. Cassiopeia, queen of Ethiopia, boasts about the beauty of her daughter Andromeda to the sea sorceresses, the Nereids. Offended, they turn to the god of the sea, Poseidon, who sends Cetus, the sea monster, to ravage the shores of Ethiopia. Ethiopia agrees to give up Andromeda to save the kingdom. They chain her up to the shore. Meanwhile, Perseus, the son of Zeus, or Jupiter, is returning from his daring quest to kill Medusa, the Gorgon. Flying home on Pegasus, Perseus spots Cetus about to take Andromeda. He thrusts Medusa's head in front of Cetus. The sea monster turns to stone, becoming an island of Ethiopia. In the sky, Perseus flies close to Andromeda. Clutched in his hand, you spot the variable star Algol. Every 2.5 days, the star dims to half its brightness for 10 hours as something dark crosses in front of it. Now the eponymous star for Algol-type binary systems. Ras Al-Ghul from the Arabic, the demon's head. Or to the Hebrew people, Rosh Ha-Satan, Satan's head. Or in the Middle Ages, Lilith, Adam's first wife, a nocturnal vampire. The thinning of the veil is a chance to let go of lives past, of dark spirits around us and within us, to let go and be lighter for it. Now shining in the east is a beautiful cluster of stars, the Pleiades, the Subaru. To the Maori people, the appearance of the Pleiades, or Matariki, begins the new year. The festival of Matariki is an occasion to gather together, a time to honor the dead, to celebrate the present, and to plan for the future. So it is apt then that the Pleiades are a young star cluster, just emerging from the birth cloud, which is reflecting the first rays of the newborn stars.